Howdy y'all, thank you for joining us for another playthrough of Marvel Champions, the card game. Guess I can get the instruction booklet out there, kind of show you a little bit. This is going to be my playthrough of using the Thor deck. It's the one I just now opened on another box opening or an unboxing. So I kind of flipped through it during that and kind of saw what it's about, but other than that I haven't really went through it or changed it or figured it out. Just from that unboxing, I think I figured out it's really not going to be that good in this one, I don't think, but we will see. I could be wrong. My judgment is he's really good in something with multiple minions or multiple bad guys. This is one really strong one. And I'm going to apologize if you watched my previous one, which was the Black Widow versus Rhino. I didn't realize till I was editing and going through it that if you don't really know how to play the game, I don't really show much or talk much in there because I was just on this mindset of I'm just going to play the game and show y'all me playing it. I'll kind of try to do a little bit more of, not quite teach the game, but at least talk about what's going on for people who might just be tuning in, just check it out. Like I said, it's all learning experience for me. It's learning as I go. And then a lot of the last game also was I hadn't played this game in a while, so that was me just kind of jumping in to play the game. Alright, well let's get into what y'all wanted to see, or what you probably clicked on to see. Yes, I know I keep going back to the Rhino. Bomb Scare is to Rhino, and doing the starter that they recommend, which is Bomb Scare and just the standard. It's because since these are just the starter decks and I am just learning them as well, and learning to see how to play the character, I kind of just go through the basic one. But we will see how this goes. So as I showed already, I start out in my alter ego as Odin's son, which if on the bottom lets me know my starting hand size and my starting hit points. So I'm at 14 hit points. Starting hand size is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. And then Rhino starts at 14 hit points also. There's nothing special about him on this one, but if we beat him to go to the second phase, that may change. And then the main scheme he's trying to pull off is the break-in. So, and just show you what I was talking about with the starting decks for Rhino. It already had it built, but when you buy the game base, but it kind of tells you on the back here what you should play and it has a recommendation. So I just go with the start base recommendation. The gist of the game is basically we're going to be going through some turns, of course, back and forth. I win if I can knock Rhino out or KO him to his second phase, which will give him hit points again, and then KO him one more time. When I KO him the second time, I win. He wins if he gets a number of schemes equal to this per player on this. So since it's solo, means if he gets 7 scheme points on there, he wins. Normally with the starting hand, so I drew 5 cards. I drew, man, I shuffled these 100 times and still drew 2 of the same card. But I drew Hammer Throw here, Lady Sif, Mean Swing, and then 2 invulnerabilities. And since I already drew this my first draw for the game, normally you would get a mulligan, and what the mulligan does is you could choose to discard any number of cards into your discard pile, and then you get to draw back up to your 5. Since I really don't know how the deck is supposed to work, I'm not sure which ones I should and shouldn't hold on to. So I'm just going to keep the hand I got and see how it plays out. Alright, so we go straight into, on my turn, I basically get to play cards. and trigger abilities. The ability triggers whether it's the alter ego side or the hero side. And then I can always tap my guy to do, in this case with the alter ego, for recovery. Or if I'm on the other side, I can tap him to thwart the scheme, which gets rid of scheme points up here. Or I can attack to do damage to Rhino or somebody. And then defense happens during their turn. And once per turn, I can flip over either into my alter ego or vice versa. Alright, so right off the bat, I'm going to go ahead and activate an action I have, the Worthy action under Odin's Son, which basically lets me search my library, or my deck, sorry, play a lot of Magic, search my deck and discard pile for the Mjolnir upgrade and add it to my hand, then shuffle my deck. So, make this faster. I know it's on the side of the card. And there it is. I'm going to shuffle. So this goes to my hand. Alright. So the way this game works is I want to bring out Mjolnir. And it is an upgrade, which means it's something that stays out. I have to spend one of a resource. And it can be any resource. And if you'll notice on the bottom of all these cards, they have a resource on there. So that means all I have to do is discard a card, one of these cards, to pay for that resource. So I discard Invulnerability, which pays the 1, which lets me bring out Mjolnir. I'm going to go ahead and use my once per turn to flip to Thor. I'm going to go ahead and exhaust Thor. He has a 2 in attack, plus 1 because of Mjolnir to attack Rhino. So that'd be 3 damage. I'm going to play Mean Swing for free. It says as a hero interrupt. When your hero makes a basic attack, exhaust a weapon upgrade on your hero. Your hero gets plus 3 attack for this attack. So he's going to do 6 damage to Rhino, taking him down to 8. Big hit, totally different from my last game. I have nothing else left in my hand that I want to play. So now I would discard any cards I don't want from my hand. I'll discard the extra invulnerability that I had. And then now we draw up to our max hand size, which in this case with Thor is 4. So I have 2 left in hand. So I'm going to draw Lightning Strike. Then everything exhausts. And we go to the bad guys phase. The bad guy right off the bat adds 1 or whatever the number is here to the scheme. In this case it adds 1 to the scheme, so he's 1 to the 7 that he needs. Then next, the bad guy, it depends on what form I am in. If I am in my hero form, they are going to attack me. If I am in my alter ego form, then they scheme to add more to their scheme. In this case, in my hero form, he's going to attack. So he has a 2 in attack. And then I flip over this card. And in the bottom corner, it doesn't matter what's on the rest of this card during this. In the bottom, well, unless something's down here. But we'll get to that if it comes up. In the bottom corner, this adds to whatever he's doing. So if he was scheming, it would be plus this, plus 1. In this case, he's attacking. It was 2 plus 1. So he does 3 damage. And actually, there was a step I kind of missed there, but I wasn't going to do it anyways. Basically, when he decides to attack, I could choose to tap or exhaust my guy to defend and make any damage he's about to do minus whatever my defense is. But then if you remember at the beginning, at the end of my phase, that's when I unexhaust. So that would mean I wouldn't be able to do anything with him unless I have a way to unexhaust him. So in this case, I had to choose I was going to take the damage, especially since I'm sitting at a whopping 14. So 2 plus the 1 means I take 3 damage, going down to 11. Then after all the bad guys and villains and minions attack, I take basically one encounter card gets dealt to each of us. We flip it over and we have to do whatever the card says. In this case, Shadows of the Past. Boo. So in this game, every character you play, so if you come with a character, you have to bring cards with you. And when you do, there is a nemesis that comes with them, or that comes with every character. In this case, it's Loki. So that's what this does basically. This basically, unless I have a way to cancel it out, which I'm pretty sure I looked and I don't. No. So in this case, Shadows of the Past is going to, says, reveal your set aside Nemesis minion and put it into play engaged with you. So that means Loki comes into play engaged with me. And normally you would put them with you. In this case it's solo, so I'm just going to put him up here because we know he is engaged with me. Now as a response, because he engaged with me, as a response, Thor has an ability that says whenever a minion, which even though this is my nemesis, it is a minion, engages with me, I get to draw 2 cards. So, boop, boop. So I draw 2 cards. Alright. Reveal your set aside nemesis side scheme and put it into play. So this is the side scheme that is set for my nemesis, the Family Feud. And I guess let me show that again, because it's going to get 2 schemes put on it. And this activates different than the other scheme. The other scheme, nothing gets added to this one. It's just going to be a scheme where it's going to do some stuff. And while this is around, it's going to add bad things that can happen to me. In this case, it means where this was only 1 every turn, it's going to be now 2 every turn as long as this is in play, because this adds an additional 1. So I want to get rid of this as soon as possible. And then it says place 1 additional threat here for each Asgard card in play. So I put 1 and 1. And then Thor has the Asgard, is an Asgard. Mjolnir's an Asgard, and Loki's an Asgard. So for a character that doesn't thwart very well, this is bad news for me. And then the rest of these, which are the 2 Frost Giants and another Treachery card, get shuffled into this deck now. So basically what this is all supposed to represent, or supposed to represent, is that while I was trying to stop Rhino from doing a break-in, Loki decided to come and interfere and make things more interesting. And from what I've seen in the multiplayer games, it tends to do is now Loki's in play through this whole scenario. So even if I defeat him, he doesn't just go off to the side again. He goes back into the discard pile, and if this thing reshuffles, then it just basically, he could constantly keep coming out and being a pain in our neck. Alright, so that was the Shadows of the Past. Bad stuff. I really don't want to do it this way, but I think I'm going to have to, or this thing's going to get in trouble real fast. So right off the bat, I'm going to bring out God of Thunder. So it costs me 2 in order to do that. So I will discard Lightning Strike and Battle Fury to bring that out. I'm going to attack Loki. So I'm going to do, I guess let me put his hit points on him. It would be 4, but I'm doing 3 damage. So he's got 1 left. Going to exhaust this for God of Thunder for an energy and discard these 2 cards to do Hammer Throw as a hero action, which is exhaust Mjolnir, deal 8 damage to an enemy and return Mjolnir to your hand. This attack gains Overkill. Overkill is basically, if you know magic terms, it means trample, so it means I'm going to choose Loki, so 8 damage, it's going to do 1 damage, which does finish off Loki, and then 7's going to carry over to Rhino. Let's do that first, and then I got something I have to trigger with Loki here. So that puts Rhino at 1 hit point. But then it says for Loki, when Loki would be defeated, discard the top card of the encounter deck. That card is a treachery. Heal all damage from Loki instead. So it was not a treachery. It is a minion. If I get that to focus. There we go. It was a minion. It was one of my... Because that happened, he does get KO'd because he does not heal because it was not treachery. I want to flip him so that I can get a better hand size, but it's only a better hand size of 1 more. And he has a really good chance of scheming for 3, which is already going to be 2 added on there, which would make it a 6. And just make it to where, I don't really thwart that well, and I don't really see cards that let me do that. So I think in this one's just all about, I just let the schemes happen and just try to take out the bad guy as fast as possible. So I'm just going to, well, before I unexhaust, I draw up to my hand size. I have 1, so that means I draw another 3. 1, 2. Oh my goodness, this is not looking good for the home team. So like these are just used, you could throw them in because they just basically provide like 2 energy. And then this is one that it's used for aggression. It does count as 2. So that doesn't look like a fun turn next turn. But, alright. So right off the bat, we add to the scheme. Because this is still add, it adds an additional 1 to the scheme. Bad guy's going to attack me. I will take it. So I should have went ahead and let the scheme happen, I guess. That's 2 plus 1 is 3, taking me to 8. Alright, now we do the encounter, which is another treachery. When revealed, Rhino heals 4 damage. If no damage was healed this way, this card gains Surge. So Surge would mean you just do another card instead. In this case, he is going to be able to heal, so he heals up to 5. And then we go back to my turn. So like I said, it's just a quick, and it's kind of what I like about the game. I mean, we've had some long ones where they go back and forth, but alright. I'm going to exhaust God of Thunder for 1. To bring Mjolnir back out. And then attack Rhino for 2, 3, taking him back to 2. I'm going to discard this one so that I can draw 2 more. I'm going to save these because it does look like he had a lot of heavy, hard-hitting things. So I draw 2 more cards. And of course I'm drawing all the cheap ones right now. Hopefully these are ones that can help me with this scheme. And then we unexhaust. Go back to adding to the scheme. And I'm going to have to take care of this next turn, no matter what. For the most part, every game I've ever played, if your nemesis comes into play, it makes the game a little rough. He's going to attack, so 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I might even have to start thinking about defending, because now I'm at 4. And then now we play the card, which is Caught Off Guard. When revealed, discard an upgrade or support you control. If no cards were discarded this way, this card gains Surge. So I have an option here. I have 2 upgrades here. I'm actually going to let go of Mjolnir. I have a way of getting it back, so this means having to go back to my other character. Or to my alter ego. Actually, even though I have a way to get it back, I'm not going to be able to flip over to alter ego form anytime soon. And every card in my hand costs 0. And I have these 2 big ones, so I don't think the extra one's really going to help me too much right now. As much as I want to knock Rhino out, I think I have to thwart the family feud, which gets rid of one off of it. Then I'm going to play Defender of the Nine Realms, which as a hero action. It's a thwart action. I discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until I discard a minion. Put that minion into play engaged with me. So there's a minion right off the bat there, Shocker. So he engages with me. When revealed, deal 1 damage to each hero. So right off the bat, I'm going to take a damage, go down to 3. But now, because that happened, I got 2 triggers that kind of happened. This one lets me draw 2 cards. So I'll do get over here and Hammer Throw. Hammer Throw could be really nice. But then lets me remove 3 threat from a scheme. So I'll get rid of this family feud. And then that is done. Oh, and actually that was a pretty good draw, I think. Yes. I'm going to actually play Hammer Throw as a hero action. Exhaust Mjolnir. Deal 8 damage to an enemy and return Mjolnir to your hand. This attack gains overkill. So let me discard the 3 I need to do for that. So I'm going to discard the... that don't count as 2. That counts as 2. 2. And that I get over here I just drew to pay for that. So that's 8 damage. So I'll do 3 to Shocker. That means 5 damage carries over to Rhino, which is enough to knock him out because this had overkill. So Rhino knocks out. The new Rhino says, when revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for the Break It and Take It side scheme and reveal it. Shuffle the encounter deck. Don't think I saw that one. Nope. Alright. So this gets 2 scheme put on it, and then an additional, or threat I should say, an additional 1 per player. So 3 are on there. And that symbol is that 1 card I get dealt per turn is 2, which means I'm most likely going to lose this turn because there's a lot of them that say to have them scheme. And it's going to get 1 at the beginning of the turn no matter what. Well, this had to return to my hand because of that Hammer Throw. So I think I'm going to discard the Power of Aggression to put Mjolnir back in play. Just trying to clear out my hand. Oh, I forgot to give him. His new hit points are 15. So if I don't lose this next turn, if I could do 15 damage, I could just win the game. Yeah, as much as I want to hold on to this, I think I need to let it go so that I could draw my maximum hand size, hoping for anything that could stop the schemes from happening. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it going to help? Is it going to help? None of these are going to help. Well, if I can survive that, got a way of doing 8 to him. Alright, so here we go. Let's see if this is over. That makes it a 6 on there. And then... oh, got to exhaust him. He is going to attack me, which would knock me out, so I have to defend. So 3 minus 2 means I'm taking 2 damage. So I'm at 1. And then we do the encounters, which is going to be 2 of them. So first one is I'm tough. When revealed, give Rhino a tough status card. If Rhino already has a tough status card, this card gains this card gains surge. He does not have tough, so what he does, he gets tough, which means any damage, the first damage dealt to him is ignored, which means I definitely can't knock him out this turn. And then gang up. When revealed in hero form, the villain and each minion engaged with you attacks you. So he's attacking me, which is going to be enough to knock me out. And I have no responses. Alright. Well, that was quick and fast. It seems to be the way the game goes, but of course, then again, that was a starter deck, and nothing has been changed in it. It did seem like I could do a lot of damage. It did not quite do what I thought it was going to do. I mean, the overkill thing did kind of what I expected it to do. But I was thinking it was going to be, it takes care of multiple minions. But it does sound like he does take care of minions, and he pulls them to himself and just overkills through them. Ultimately, not being able to take care of the schemes, though. Whew. So yeah, I guess I'll let that go on too long, but I didn't really have a way to take care of it other than taking one at a time. But, oh well. That was cool. I'm probably gonna grab another one of the starters I haven't played with yet and try it out. So, thank you for watching and have a great day.